I'm re-recording this video because I realized in the previous one I got way too overly emotional, so I'm gonna try my best to remain calm and try and keep things on track. So I do apologize for the inconvenience. So to catch everyone up real quick, just in case if you don't know what the situation is or if you haven't seen my previous video on this, the one I took down rather. So Gray had unconsensual phone sex with SJ Blake, and Gray did not consent to doing it, and quite frankly it really pissed me off. And as if you saw my previous video, you would know how angry I got. So yeah, that's just a and also and like the person that released it to the public was, as of recent, was Ash, who, again, I'm not going to refer to them as their preferred name or pronouns because she does not deserve my respect. As well as, I will say as well that SSJ Blake is not a good guy either, so I won't be defending him in the slightest. It was either SSJ Blake or Multiverse Sonic that released the video of the audio. I mean of like Gray and and not multi and SSJ Blake having doing phones having like a sex call, and after a while it was either Multiverse Sonic or SSJ Blake that released it as like an unlisted video, and it was never released to the entire public until recently when when Ash released it a few days ago. So that's just to catch everyone up to speed, just in case if you didn't see the previous one. So here we go. So I do want to take the time to give some context, just in case if people don't know what's been going on for a long time. So a long time ago, Gray, SSJ Blake, and Multiverse Sonic, and a few others did videos together as their respective Sonic characters. Things weren't good for a little while, but it turned out that both Blake and Multiverse Sonic are narcissistic people, and in SSJ Blake's case, a predator. And after that, Gray made connections in our Discord server outside of SSJ Blake and Multiverse Sonic. I was one of them. We later learned about some of their behavior, and after that, they were out of the picture for a while. In the meantime, Ash and Gray's relationship was they were really close friends when it started, and when after Ash turned 18, we later learned that her dad was abusive towards her, and but this real is where I have to personally say, I did say this in the previous video, but I'm probably I'm gonna be a lot more calmer about it. Ash, you were abused. I'm sorry for saying that again, but you were abused. Like your dad literally held a fucking knife to you. Like again, I know it's not the blade part, but still, sure, it was a pocket knife, and the blade wasn't out or anything like that. But just rubbing it, just getting your attention with a knife in general is even when you're just on a call with somebody, it's genuine abuse, and that your dad fucking threatened you. I don't know how else to say this, but it really does not paint your father in a good light. So after he learned this situation, Gray offered Ash the opportunity to escape her parents and let her live with Gray, and Ash said yes, but generally they needed funding to help her escape. Me and a few others did donate to to the GoFundMe that Ash released, she got enough money to get away from the situation, and they went in, and Ash went to Gray's house, and things went good for a while, but somehow her dad found out where they were, and basically went to where they were, and grabbed Ash and dragged her like she was a toddler. So after that, they still, like, Gray and Ash did still remain in contact for a while. But like after Ash has repeatedly like refused to work on herself and like didn't do anything to like actually like communicate with Gray or like actually like help herself mentally, Gray decided to break up with her ultimately. And since then, Ash has been kind of vindictive, if I'm being honest. Like regarding regarding the situation, she actively like, tried making allegations about Gray, making allegations that Gray groomed her and stuff like that. Gray went to court to get like a restraining order and stuff like that. And after that, it became and then like the whole court case, and Gray was cleared of grooming, of allegations of grooming, and they got her, and Gray got her a restraining order, although it was a temporary one. Ash did stalk Gray at one point, and like it did break. She did violate the temporary restraining order that Gray had against Ash, and it genuinely. So yeah, like she broke the. That was not that. So yeah, like that. She literally like broke the fucking law to like try and like get back at her ex. So I am going to give my opinion on some of the things that happened between Ash and Gray. I don't think Gray's entirely like don't get me wrong, like I believe Gray's innocent for the most part. I believe she's the more innocent out of the two. There are things that like I believe Gray. There were stuff that Gray did during this that I believe were genuine mistakes. Where she did she did I think both parties got overly attached to each other at one point or another, and I think what led to the, breakup. I could be totally wrong about this. Is that obviously with Ash not working on herself properly, and Gray going for a lot as well. I think at the end of the day, it was more of like they couldn't do much to work do for the relationship. Like they couldn't do much considering that Ash's father was like raining down on Ash, and like Ash's mental health was getting significantly worse at one point or another. And Gray did really Gray did try and be help Ash out and stuff like that, but Gray did it kind of. I feel like it became this whole thing where where it just became Gray couldn't do anything else for Ash, and then they broke up and all that. About the judge clearing Gray of grooming, I think that's a great choice. While I definitely think that Gray did do some things wrong, not necessarily illegal or anything like that, but I feel like Gray, I've said this to people in the past. I believe Gray is one of the most naive people I have ever met in my life, and that is part of her charm as a person. But sometimes I feel like she doesn't really think properly about the way certain words and certain phrases could be taken from other people. I feel like she just when she gets emotional, she just talks and says what's on her mind, regardless, not really thinking things through properly. And I do think as well that in the past, Gray has let her emotions get the best of her more, and to the point where it has made things significantly worse. And I think Gray, and the thing is, Gray sees the good in people naturally, and I respect the hell out of that. Hell, she's given me so many fucking chances despite what I've done. But it genuinely I don't think Gray was did anything it really fucked up or really wrong or anything like that. I think at the end of the day, it was a whole thing where I think Gray just let her emotions and let her naivete towards certain things overrule, and just I feel like it was more of an she just let her emotions get the best of her in situations where she needed to remain calm and real and control herself. I'm not saying I'm the best at that either, but still I think I'm just saying from what I've seen, and I do believe Gray I do believe Gray when she says she didn't mean any harm by it or anything like that. I think Gray has said some stuff regarding like how she feels about certain things that like really like what like it's like why the fuck would you say that shit? I definitely think that Gray did try. I definitely think Gray tried her best with every with situation she was given, but I think most people just don't really understand her the way she wants to be understood. I think because the thing is, I do want to say, like I do believe there is a difference between knowing that you have a problem and seeking help regarding that problem, and knowing you have a problem and not doing anything about it. And I do believe Gray is seeking help regarding her issues and stuff like that. And that's like a massive I have like massive respect for her for like acknowledging that and like also getting help. So like there is a like to me there is a massive difference between like really like knowing there's something wrong, knowing you have like certain faults that you shouldn't have, and like seeking help to like mend those faults and like work on yourself, than not doing anything about it and doing something where it will scar someone for life. That is the way I see it personally, and I think people really need to take that perspective, get that perspective into their heads, or at least like keep it in mind when like when Gray has actively worked on herself for the last several years, and like while it which yeah, slow process and all, but like since when is working on yourself like a fast process? Since when is it? Like let's be honest here. Like if you work on like I've been working on myself for several years, and like I'm not anywhere near close to like actually shut up. Sorry, that was my phone. Yeah, so it really like I think people need to like take things in within the perspective of as long as like Gray continues to work on herself, eventually she will be better, and like she will get there eventually. I think Ash needs to like take a serious look at herself, especially considering the fucking sex audio she fucking decided to release to the public and claimed that Gray ever released it herself at one point. I think Ash needs to take a long break from the internet as a whole, and after a long time of like her looking at herself and like working and like making sure she becomes better as a person, I think eventually maybe she can come back and like do her own thing. Not that I don't think she'll ever have a place within like Gray's community again or anything like that, but like I think both parties need to understand that this situation cannot be fixed, and I think both parties just need to move on. So that's like my general opinion on the subject. And overall, I definitely think that at the end of the day, it really should be put in perspective that I think everyone just needs to just really leave the situation as is. Don't make any more like after after everything, just don't talk, like just move on. Like I don't believe it should continue for much longer. So, and I don't think it will benefit anybody, even the people who have nothing to do with the situation, who are having to comment about it and like make videos about it, like that, including myself. I think if this situation goes on any longer, I genuinely believe that no one's gonna come out of this situation unscathed, and I believe that. The thing is, like, I already believe no one's come out of this unscathed, but like it will continue if you keep if either side keeps adding to this, it will get worse, and I don't think it will be better. Like I don't think things will get better after a while. So it genuinely so yeah, overall, my perspective on it is Ash had no right to like leak the situation and like to leak the sex audio, and like it had no right to like make out that Gray released it herself. And I also think in the same breath, Gray needs to like really focus on like being better as a whole, and I think Gray really needs to like work on like the way she says things, and like the way she talk, and like maybe like and like let like think about stuff before she says it. I think yeah, so like I think both sides need to work on themselves in a very significant way. Hell, I'm including myself in that. So I think yeah, so that's how I feel about it. I hope this video will work because, quite frankly, I really don't want to re-record this again. So, yeah, that's going to be it from me. So, I'll see you guys later. Take care.